Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sonia and I would love it if you could subscribe. And if you're already an existing subscriber, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about some autumn winter palettes that I think I'm going to be using a lot more over the next couple of months, and ones I want to use a lot more because it's either been neglected in my, or it's something new that I want to use more of, or something I want to try to see whether I actually like it, and if I don't, then get rid of it from my collection. So should we just get into it because I have quite a few to go through today. Now, I could have picked quite a lot more from my collection, but I didn't want to go over the top because I feel like if I give myself an unrealistic goal of trying to use like 20 or 30 palettes, then I feel like that's not very realistic. Let's get into it. Like I said, this is just kind of stuff I want to use more of and see what I think. So starting off, let's start with the eyeshadow crayon. Now, I got these a couple of months ago. These are the Charlotte Tilbury Colour Chameleon and it's in Smoky Emerald. So it looks like this. Now, I've tried these and I've been really underwhelmed by them. Like, I'm not impressed in the slightest at them, but I really want to give them a go. Now, this was the colour that I wanted specifically because I'm really rubbish at doing smoky eye looks, and I thought a colour like this, like literally put it on the lid, smoke it out, and then it should be fine. I did get 3 in the collection because it was like a 3 set for like, I want to say £30 something. I don't know if they still do it on the Charlotte Tilbury website. So what I'll do is I put up how much this is for just one alone, and then I'll let you know whether they can still get the set of 3. But this was the one I wanted specifically, and I just felt like every time I've tried it, which I think is like 2 or 3 times, I hate it. I want to give that a go, and if I really don't get on with it, then I'm just going to get rid of them in my collection. I'm sure there's somebody else that will enjoy them a little bit more and might be able to work with them a little bit better than myself. I just want to give this one more of a go. I am going to try it like more times than once and just see if I can get it to work, but if I can, it's going from my collection, which is a shame because they aren't cheap and I really wanted to like them because I thought they would just be so easy to do, especially like I said, I'm rubbish at smoky eyes, so having something like that would have been perfect for me. The next thing I want to talk about is the Jaclyn Hill Ring the Alarm palette from Morphe. Now, I got this palette last Christmas from my nan, and I have used it a couple of times. I just haven't used it as much as what I would want to use it, and I just think we're kind of getting into the seasons now where these are like the prime colours that I can use. Now, I have used Boom, which is this one here, and I want to say I've used other ones. Yeah, I've used Rush, which is this one here. But apart from that, I think that is all I've used, which I'm a little bit annoyed at because this is a really pretty palette. Now, I know when this first came out, people were saying that it wasn't the best formula. Now, I only wanted this one. I was kind of tempted by a couple of the other ones, but I just felt like this one would be the only one I would most probably use and get more use out of, which is funny, isn't it, considering I've only used it twice. But I think it's just because I have so many palettes in my collection that I feel like maybe this one just got buried. But I do want to give this one more of a love because, like I said, it is the perfect time to do it. And I just think these are so pretty colours. I've had no problems when using this. Like I said, people were saying the formula was rubbish, but I don't think it is. I think it's actually really nice. So that is kind of another thing that I wanted to give more of a go of. Like I said, I've had it since last Christmas. I should have definitely used it a little bit more. But I do think the colours in here are definitely ones I can use over the coming months. This one I feel like is the newest eyeshadow palette in my collection, and it's the Pat McGrath Labs Sublime palette. Now, I got 2 of them for £22 in the sale on Pat McGrath. So it just looks like this. Now, I did choose this one specifically just because it doesn't have really over-the-top colours. The other one doesn't have over-the-top colours either, but I just feel like this one is definitely more I can use like on a day-to-day basis rather than the other ones. I will most probably use these as either by themselves or then like a topper on top of other eyeshadow palettes. But I just feel like I can get use out of all of these, and like I said, because it is one of the kind of newer ones in my collection, I haven't maybe used it as much as I would want to. I have used this one here and I have used another one in the other palette, but these are really, really nice. I was really, really impressed with this formula. And the thing I'm not super impressed about with Pat McGrath is the price of the palettes. Like, I always love the way that they look stunning all the time, but I'm not paying like over £100 for an eyeshadow palette. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So to get these, which like I said is 2 for £22, I'll put it on the screen whether you can still get that, because honestly I think these are really beautiful. And yeah, it doesn't come in the best of packaging, but it's still, I feel like if I was travelling with it, I still think it would be protected. I just want to use these more, and I definitely think I can because of the colours. Now, this is a palette when it first came out, I really wanted it. Like, I really, really, really wanted it. And it seemed to be sold out absolutely everywhere. And it took me weeks to get this, and I finally found it. And it's the Revolution Fortune Favours the Brave. Now, I've had this for, I don't know how long. But this was by a British beauty blogger, so I think they like collaborated with a beauty blogger, and I just think that these colours are stunning. I have used this. Now, I can't say I haven't because I have used it. I just haven't used it as much as what I would expect considering how long I've had it. I have used this shade. I can definitely tell this one here has got a big, big baby dip. But I feel like the other ones, I don't feel like I've had a lot of love. Now, I'll see if I can try and bring it up a little bit closer and hopefully you can see both of those. But no, I do like this palette. I just feel like I prefer other ones in my collection now. I feel like when this first came out, which I want to say is like 2 or 3 years ago, this was like stunning, and it still is stunning. I do think this is definitely, and again, another like autumn winter palette. I just feel like it's kind of got neglected in my collection just because I feel like there's been other ones that I've preferred. So when I saw this, I thought, you know what, we're gonna get you out because I feel like you need more love. And like I said, you've got your blues here, you've got your greens, you've got your purples, and you've got some neutrals, so I can't say that I don't have a selection of colours in here. If I remember rightly, the formula is okay. I don't think it's my favourite formula from Revolution. Now, I do like Revolution eyeshadow palettes, but I just remember I wasn't completely wowed by this, but I haven't used it in a long time. I don't even know whether they sell that anymore. I really hope they do because, like I said, it is a really, really, really pretty like colour story in there. Okay, so the next one is something that you can't get anymore. But I have had this palette for, again, which seems like a long time. I haven't had it for that long, but it's the Urban Decay Naked palette. So now this has been discontinued from Urban Decay. They bring out the, is it Naked Reloaded, which is meant to be like the newer version of this. I personally prefer this one, just because I feel like you, if I remember rightly, I don't think it has like these two colours here, which are like more of like bluey colours. I might be wrong. I'll put a picture of it up on the screen. I feel like it's just way more like neutrals. I mean, don't get me wrong, this palette is pretty much all neutrals. But I'm really surprised that I haven't used this more, just because, like I said, I love neutrals. Now, I have used this palette. I have used this palette quite a lot. And it is a formula I really, really like. I do like Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes, and I definitely, when I saw this one, I thought, oh look, you've got your gold in here, you've got like toasted, you've got your neutrals, you've got Sadcar, and I thought this is a perfect palette for like Christmas, you know, like with all your shimmers and your golds and stuff. I just really want to use this more because it is a really, really beautiful palette, but at the same time I kind of don't want to use it because you can't get it anymore. But there's no point in it just sitting in my collection. There's just like 0 points. So I want to use it because it is a really, really beautiful palette, and I definitely think it is a palette that you can use over the coming months. Okay, so this palette I have used once, and I've had it since last March. And I think the reason I haven't used it that much is just because when I bought it, I absolutely loved the colour story. Like, I was so inspired by it. And then when I got it, I just feel kind of uninspired. But then sometimes when I look at this, I do think, oh my god, that is such a beautiful palette. You've got like all of these like rose goldy colours, you've got your neutrals, you've got pop of some colours, you've got your dark colours. And then I'm like, why do I not pick this up more? And I'm looking at this now and thinking, why don't I pick this up more? I really don't know why I haven't picked this up. I have definitely used Nana. I've used, I think it's Maui, and I think that is pretty much all I've used. So this is definitely a palette I want to use a bit more. If I don't use it, then I want to pass it on to someone that will really, really enjoy this. This is the palette, it's the OPV Beauty, and I don't want to butcher that. So this was inspired, this name was by a Nigerian goddess. She is known as the protectress of women and governs childbirth, love and healing. I definitely want to use it a bit more, and again you've got colours in here that will definitely be something you can use over the coming months. And last but no means least, we have the Urban Decay Back Talk palette. This was limited edition. It then stopped being sold in places for a while, and then it came back, and I completely regretted it not getting it first time. So when it came back, I snatched it up. So it looks like this, and you can take the mirror out of it. And you have blushes and you have highlights, and then you have the eyeshadows. Now I really kind of want to focus more on the eyeshadows, if I'm being totally honest. Again, this colour story is just very me, like, and I feel like I have used this quite a few times, maybe a little bit more than the other palettes I've got in here, but I haven't used it as much as what I feel like this palette deserves. So it looks like this. Now I have used the like blush and highlight side, and I will use this side as well, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to neglect it, but I do just want to use more of the eyeshadows. I just think this is a really, really beautiful palette. I remember really enjoying the formula of these as well, which again, like I said, that doesn't surprise me because I do really like Urban Decay formula. I'm not really inspired recently by a lot of the kind of colours that come out in Urban Decay palettes at the minute. I will buy them if I like them, but I just feel like at the minute I'm not really enjoying the releases that they come out with. But I really, really like this palette. I've definitely, like I said, used this a lot more than my other ones, but when I saw this, I'm like, this has to go in here because I want to use it. It was more just an excuse to use it a little bit more, if I'm being totally honest. But no, I really, really do like this palette, and I will be really, really happy to use it. And that is all of the palettes. Like I said, I didn't want to overwhelm myself on trying using like so many palettes. I have so many more palettes that I could have chosen, and coming in the future I am going to show you like my eyeshadow palette drawer and stuff like that. But these are the palettes that I definitely want to use more of, make a decision whether I want to keep them in my collection. Like I said, there are some in there that will 100% be kept in my collection. Definitely the two Urban Decay ones. I will definitely be keeping the Morphe palette and the McGrath palette. But I feel like the other ones, I'm kind of like unsure as to whether they're going to be staying in my collection. What I will do is, if I ever do a declutter, I will make a video about the reasons I'm decluttering the makeup. I don't like decluttering makeup, if I'm being totally honest. I only do it if it really, really, really doesn't work for me, and then it's just going to be sat collecting dust in my collection. I try and make everything work if I possibly can. Sometimes that's just not possible. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please do subscribe. Have you had any of these palettes? Have you tried any of these palettes? Do you want to try any of these palettes? Please leave your comments below and we can have a discussion about it. And until next time, see you later everyone.